Just test the voice a minute now.
To do a voice test?
Okay, so he's going to just test you, so just talk a little bit. Your sister, where are you from?
I'm from Enniscorthy, County Wexford, Vinegar Hill.
So what's your name again?
Sister Phillipine Stamp,
Stamp. And what year did you arrive in Kenya?
1947.
47. And did you come by boat from Ireland?
We came by boat through the Suez Canal,
Suez Canal.
and it took us 21 days.
21 days. And did you come alone or did you come with...
No, we were 5, and we came immediately after the war, the Second World War.
I see.
It was Sister Peter Claver, Sister Teresina, Sister Maureen O'Connor, Sister Breed, and myself.
And what was your first contact with Loreto? What was your first contact with Loreto? Did you go to school?
Oh, I was at school in Loreto. It took me 3 minutes to get to school.
They had a school in Enniscorthy.
In Enniscorthy.
I see. It was
A lovely school.
a day school.
Day school.
Day school. And were your sisters involved in Loreto also?
My sister, eldest sister was Magdalena, who also entered. My next sister was Breda. She also entered, but she was sent home for ill health. My next was Mary Hildegard, who was headmistress in Loreto Stevens Green for 45 years.
45 years.
And then myself. And then my one and only brother, and then 2 more sisters. 7.
7. And the sister, one of them was in Foxrock, no?
Yes, she was in Foxrock for 40 years.
Headmistress.
Headmistress
Wow.
of the junior school.
Junior school. And you were in Valley Road, no?
I was in, I started here in 1947.
In Musangari.
Missingari. I was here for 13 years. But it was all the settlers' children there from before independence.
And were you teaching or?
Now I was teaching mostly music. I'm not a musician, but I'm musical.
That's right. One of your famous students told me recently that you taught all the girls how to sing, but you didn't know how to sing.
It wasn't that I didn't know, but I had 2 operations
Oh.
on my vocal cords,
Oh my.
and I lost my voice
Oh my goodness.
in 1962.
But you got the voice back again.
Kind of. Never came back properly.
I see. And were you teaching music all the time in those 13 years?
Teaching music and science and history.
I see. And you arrived in Mombasa on the boat.
We arrived in Mombasa. We met by the nuns there. And the head there was the nun who brought the Loretos to Kenya, Mother Borgia of Shockency.
Wow. And
She wanted to keep us for a few days. So when we came up here, it was 2 days after St. Patrick's Day.
Ah. And how did you come to Nairobi?
Overnight train.
Overnight
A
train.
lovely train. I'd never been in an overnight train before.
And when you arrived in Nairobi, then you came here by car.
We came here. There was one car. The postmaster had a car, and we came by his car to here. And 2 of us stayed here, myself and Peter Claver. 2 into Eldoret, Loreto Eldoret, Teresina and Breed, and Maureen stayed in Mombasa, Loreto, Mombasa.
Okay. And in the holiday time, would you stay here also, or you'd?
Yes, in the holiday time we had jobs, you know. I was always in charge of the food during holiday time.
But did you take a break anywhere? Would you go to Eldoret?
Yes, we went to Mombasa.
Mombasa. And how many nuns were here when you came?
In this house,
Yes,
I think about 5,
5.
but they had no recruits during the war because there was no way of getting here.
I see. And what were your first impressions of Nairobi?
Wonderful. And we came, I think it was Monsignor Winters who met us at the port. And he said, everybody in Kenya is an officer. There are no privates. Because everybody was shouting at the one time, collecting our luggage, telling us where to go, etc.
Very good. And you were wearing black habits then?
Yes, Father.
And did you find that very hot?
No, I didn't worry. I was young.
And when you came to Nairobi, did you wear black also, or you changed to white?
Yes, we did.
I see.
But then we wore white later.
Later.
God bless John, the 23rd.
Yes.
He changed a lot of things.
I see.
And I was here in Kenya for nearly 20 years before I went home. Then Pope John said, all religious are to go home now and again,
Very good. And
you know, for renewal.
yes. And what do you remember of Sister Borgia O'Shaughnessy?
Oh, wonderful woman. She was a proper musician, not like me. I'm only musical, but she was a proper musician. She played the piano beautifully. A big, big woman.
And where was she from?
Cork.
Cork. And did you know any of the other first Loreto sisters who came?
I didn't know any of these sisters when I came here, but we very soon got to know them because the headmistress here was an Irish woman, Teresa Gertrude Foley.
And where was she from?
Where's she from? I think she was from Waterford, but I'm not sure of that.
Yes. And was she one of the first ones who came to Kenya?
No, the first ones and names are on our church at the entrance.
And did you know some of them?
Yes, we were here with them, Borgia, Mother Rachel Gordon, who's superior here for 11 years, because nobody came out during the war. Borgia O'Shaughnessy, the one from New Ross, Dolores Stafford, and Teresa. She was from Cork. They were all here when we arrived.
And did you know Teresa Joseph also?
Oh, well. Oh, she's a wonderful woman.
What did she do?
She started Limuru, the first boarding schools for African girls in Kenya.
I see. And that
Wonderful woman.
That must have been very difficult at the time, no?
It was, but she was a strong woman. She had been on the run in Ireland. I think she was imprisoned at one time, bringing messages to the patriots,
I see.
the rebels.
And she discovered her vocation then later on?
Yes, and came. She's a wonderful woman.
And she must have had to fight the British here then also?
Oh yes, well we didn't have to fight, but when I went to Limuru, my salary from the British government was 500 shillings.
500 per year? Per year? 500 shillings per year?
Yeah, but no, per term.
Per term? Wow. And how did they get the permission from the British to start Limuru? That must have been difficult, no?
I don't think so. I think they're quite happy. But Limuru started, I think, in 1931. I think.
And you went there in?
No, I went there in 1962.
And how long did you spend in Limuru? How long did you spend in Limuru?
8 years.
8 years.
Mm.
And what was the food like?
Oh, we had ordinary food.
Like
You
what?
know, plenty of bread and jam and rice and potatoes. Oh, no problem.
No problem.
Meat.
Meat. And the students also?
The students had ugali
I see.
and beans, maize and beans,
And
chiefly,
they could
in
survive on
Limuru.
that. They could survive with that.
Oh, yes. And then they also had sukuma wiki.
Mariki.
Oh yes, so that was all right.
And the girls came from all over the country.
Yes, because Limuru was a national school. Therefore, you had to be very well qualified to get in,
I see. And,
you know.
And how did you find the funds for their fees? They couldn't pay fees, no?
You know how much they had to pay? 300 a year.
Shillings.
300 shillings a year in Limuru.
Wow. And were they able to find that?
Oh, yes. Oh, that was nothing. 300 shillings a year. And for that they got all their books, their uniform, soap.
And but was that subsidised from Ireland or from somewhere? Or?
Oh no, that was the Kenya government.
Are they paid?
Oh yes.
The government funded?
Oh yeah. Like, Limuru is a government school.
But even then?
National school.
Yeah, but even then?
Yes.
Okay. So the government helped a lot?
You see, it began as a teacher training college.
I see.
And then became a secondary school.
I see. Very good.
Wangari Maathai was one of the first pupils.
Did you know her?
Oh, well. Wangari, yes, I knew her well.
Did you teach her?
No, not as a teacher. She came out to Midwood Centre, where years later I was based.
Oh.
And she gave lectures to the Justice and Peace group that were there.
I see. And where was that Mary Hill Centre?
Mary Ward Centre.
Oh, Mary Ward. Where was that? In Karen?
Mary Ward Centre in Karen.
Karen. And what year was that?
Oh, now don't be asking me years. It's about right now, it's 10 years ago.
Only?
Mm.
Oh. But when...
Well, you see, it would be, I suppose, I was there for 9 years.
9 years. And what years was, do you know, was Wangari in Limuru?
In Limuru, in the beginning.
In the beginning?
Very near, not quite the beginning.
So 40s maybe?
Yes, probably.
40s, very good. And...
she was a lovely person.
Lovely person.
So easy to talk to.
I see. And the life for the students in Limuru,
oh, they were excellent.
I see.
Very musical.
Very musical.
Yeah.
I see.
And I taught them choir.
Choir.
And yes, a few other things as well.
Very good. And after Limuru, where did you go?
After Limuru, I went up to Eldoret. We had a school in Eldoret, which later closed down. Then I went to Matunda Bridge, and I was there for 9 years.
How long were you in Eldoret?
Only a year and a half. Then there was a crisis. Somebody was needed in Matunda, and I was asked to go.
I see.
And I said yes, because I wasn't so good with preparatory. I was a bit strict with the younger children.
I see. And Matundo is in Kitale?
Pardon?
Matundo is in Kitale?
You remember Matunda's halfway, 30 kilometres from Eldoret and about 18 from Kitale.
I see. And you were there for 6 years?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
And then after that?
Now after that, I came down to Loreto House, but then I went straight to Valley Road.
Valley Road.
I was headmistress at a secondary school in Valley Road.
For how long?
9 years.
9 years. How old did you say you are now?
97.
97. And after Valley Road you were headmistress for 9 years?
Yes, secondary school.
And that was in the 70s or 80s?
Oh, I'm not as good as I used to be on the
And then
day.
after Valley Road?
After Valley Road, I went back to Limuru as superior there for 4 years.
4 years.
Then I was needed here, so I came back here for 2 years.
Musangari?
Yes.
I see. Wonderful. And after that then?
After that, I think I went to Valley Road again for 1 year, and then we were needed to start Mary Ward Centre in Carron. And I went there then for 9. Oh, I've forgotten. In between times I was provincial secretary to Katrina Kelly.
Ah, I see. For how long was that?
9 years.
9 years, long time.
I had done a short course on computer.
Computers, very good. And can you remember any details about the trip out in the boat?
Oh yes, I loved it. I loved it. At night, the stars. But the trouble was that the boat was nearly the same width as the canal. So I was always afraid we would get stuck.
In the Suez Canal. In the Suez Canal.
Yes, Suez Canal.
And but you didn't get seasick or anything, no?
Never.
Never.
I was very lucky. When we were coming out, we left Ireland in Princess Maud. A ferry. The ferry from Ireland to England.
Liverpool.
Was a Princess Maud. And the sea was mountainous, and the snow was falling, and everybody was sick except me. So I went out of the cabin and sat on the deck in the snow to get some fresh air.
Was this January? What month?
February.
February.
We left in February and arrived here in March.
And how did your family react to your vocation?
My mother was very happy because she was a saint. But my father said, well, I think you ought to wait a while. So I said, all right. She said, I'd like you to go up to Dublin to do a course. So I went to Loreto, Crumlin, and did a commercial course, which was very useful to me out here as headmistress.
And that was during the war years?
It was, yes.
40s?
Yes.
War years.
Oh yes, it was. And you couldn't get many things, you know. We used to have to turn the envelopes inside out and use them again.
And then, did you enter in Loreto Rathfarnham?
Yes.
And do you remember much about the novitiate?
Oh yes. The headmistress, the novice mistress, had been my music teacher in Enniscorthy for about 8 or 9 years. So we knew one another very well, because I could sing. And she taught me everything I knew about music, piano, violin and singing.
Very good. And what was the most difficult thing you found when you came to adjust in Kenya?
When
you came to Kenya, what was the most difficult thing? Or was there anything that was difficult?
Yes, there was. I was told. You see, the mother, Rachel Gordon, was dying of cancer of the kidney. And she sent for me. She said, Sister Phillipine, you'll be in charge of the kitchen. I said, Mother, I know nothing about cooking. I could make a cup of tea, but that's about. She said, you can learn. So there was a wonderful cook here, George. So George and myself got on very well. And George taught me everything I knew.
So the most difficult thing was cooking?
No. I hadn't to cook. George did the cooking.
With the cook, I see.
But I learned a lot from George. We had wonderful men.
And was there anything that was your biggest mistake?
A big mistake.
Or anything that you regret? Teaching?
I have no regrets further.
No regrets.
Except that when I was young, I was very addicted to novels, and I wasn't a good student. So I regret that to this day.
And did you have any trouble learning Kiswahili?
I didn't learn Kiswahili.
No?
When we came out here, it was all European pupils. You know, I came in 47.
Yes, yes.
It was only when I went to Limuru. And they weren't allowed to speak Swahili because they had to do the senior Cambridge.
I see.
And so they had to know English.
I see.
So I never learned Swahili. I know some, you know.
And
I'm very keen to know, but I'm a bit old now.
and did the students have any trouble with the Cambridge exam?
No, Limuru girls are very intelligent.
Very intelligent. And was there any difficulty in sending the papers to Cambridge?
I don't think so.
Somebody told me you had to keep a copy. You kept a copy of the papers in case the ship went down. Somebody said you kept a copy of the exam papers in case the ship went down, carrying the papers to England.
I don't remember
Don't
that.
remember that, huh?
No.
Okay, never mind. And you must have been very happy with the award in 2013 from the President about the contribution of Loreto to education in Kenya.
I didn't know about that.
Sister Colombier and Sister Iphigenia went to collect the award, I think,
That's right.
2013.
Oh, I probably heard, you know, I've forgotten. It never worries me, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah?
What did worry me was, when I put the choir in, we were the first African choir to enter for the senior choir competition in the music festival in Nairobi, and we came first, and they didn't give us the shield. They gave us a trophy instead, and I was very annoyed.
And why didn't they give you the shield?
Oh, I never asked them.
So you entered the choirs into many.
Oh, yes. Choir and violin and piano. We entered everything.
But you didn't just teach the girls to sing, you taught them all these instruments also?
Yes. And we had 1 year down there in the music festival. It took place in the Memorial Hall. And I think now that no longer is there. But I heard a band of boys playing bamboo pipes. I'd never heard it before. I thought it was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. So I went to their teacher, who was a lady named Mrs. Richardson. And I said, I've never heard such a lovely sound. She said, Sister, would you like to teach your girls those pipes? I said, I would love. She said, I'm retiring to England and I'll give you the instruments. And could you put me up in Miss Gary? I said, yes, we'd love to. She said, I'll come for the weekend and I'll teach you how to make the pipes from bamboo. But I said, where'll I get the bamboo? She said, Kenya bamboo is too thick, but you can send to China because they have a lot of rain and the bamboo grows fast and it's thin. So I did. And she gave me one little book with a few pieces, music pieces in it. And she taught me how to make the bamboo pipes. And the children here made them with me. And we had a band, a bamboo band. Oh, it was a beautiful sound.
But did you know how to play the violin and the guitar and all?
The violin and the piano. And then I had to learn quickly how to teach the cello. And then Mother Rachel, who was dying, came down in a wheelchair to see how I was getting on. And I hadn't bothered about the double bass. And she said, Philip, you can't have an orchestra without a double bass. So I got the double bass up, and somebody showed me the I think I had a tutor, and a very clever girl offered to play the double bass. So I marked a few notes with chalk, and she played the double bass.
Wow. And how about the drums and the cymbals?
Hmm?
Did you have drums and cymbals?
No, only strings.
Strings, I see.
We had a piano, of course, and the piano was accompanied by the daughter of J.J. Hughes, who brought Ford Motors to Kenya. You probably know that. He brought Ford Motors to Kenya. Now, he was a traditional Irish fiddler. So he taught his third daughter, Zelda, to play the piece that we were doing. So she was very good.
You knew Zelda?
She was killed after, while practicing for the Safari Rally. Zelda.
She's buried there in St. Austin's.
Hmm?
She's buried in St. Austin's.
Yes, she is.
But she was killed in a car crash. Was it a car accident?
She was driving, and she'd 4 boys in the car with her, and I suppose they were tricking. And she had an accident, broke her neck.
Oh dear.
And the whole 4 died. They all died. It was very sad.
Wow. And besides music, did you teach other subjects?
Yes, chiefly biology.
Biology. In all the different schools?
No, I taught biology in Limuru, and then we had a subject called health science. And then they discovered that health science lapped over biology, not the same. And so they dropped it from the curriculum. So then I taught biology after that.
I see.
But I thought it was a wonderful subject because it taught all the diseases you get in the tropics, you know, and how they got and how you could prevent them and all that. I thought it was a pity to drop it.
Very good. And do you have any moment of all the years? How many years have you been in Kenya?
70 next year.
Next year. 17.
In March next year, I'll be 70 years here.
And
70 wonderful years.
is there any moment that stands out in your memory more than others? Any moment that stands out in your memory more than others?
Oh, lots of them, Father. Every house I was in, I loved children, teenagers. And I had no problems. Oh, there were problems, of course. We lost a child from cerebral malaria in Matunda. That was a great sadness. She only Form 1.
And you must have seen many, many students pass through your hands in 70 years.
Oh, many lovely girls.
And many of them must be very influential people in Kenya today.
Probably. Well, Wangari Maathai was number 1.
Did you know
But
her?
I didn't teach her
I see. Do you know when was she in Limuru?
before I went there.
I see. But you knew her later.
Oh, yes. She used to come out on invitation to Maryward Centre when we had this group of JPIC, Justice, Peace, Integrity, Creation,
I see.
run by Sister Nrula.
I see. Very good. And you had a concert for Mama Ngina also?
Oh, yes. She came to Limuru once and we sang the Holy City. Do you know the Holy City?
No.
Last night when I lay sleeping, there came a dream so fair. Then it began as, and then went on through the crucifixion. And when we finished, she came over and she said, "Could you repeat that? It's so beautiful." So we did.
Oh, very nice.
But the girls were all very keen, very keen.
Is there any one choir that you remember more than others? Or any one singer?
Well, there was one girl called Doris Harris, whose mother had married an Englishman. And I began at piano. In the first concert there, she played for Elise, Beethoven's for Elise. Very gifted girl and a lovely girl. Then her mother left the Englishman, he went back to England, and she married again. Married, I think, Campbell, and they adopted Doris. And she was a lovely girl and a great artist as well as a musician.
I see. And how would you say has Mary Ward influenced your life?
Mary Ward, well, of course, I was a Loreto pupil, and we knew all about Mary Ward and appreciated her even as children. And Teresa Ball.
And would you do the same again with your life?
Oh, exactly.
And can you remember any of the sisters who have gone back to Ireland?
Oh yes, lots of them. Most of them had to go back for health reasons.
I see.
They didn't, or they were transferred. For instance, somebody was needed for the archives and, you know, different services.
Can you remember any names?
Yes, I can. Sister Paula went back as the archivist in Rathfarnham. And, lots of them. Teresa. Some came out here on request and gave a few years. And then two of them stayed on. Marion Cox, great musician, a proper musician, not like me. And Teresa McPaul, and Imelda. There were many. Margarita, the wonderful maths teacher.
I was here when they were sent back to Ireland.
I see. And do you remember anything about the novitiate in Rathfarnham?
Yes, the novitiate, the novice mistress, had been my music teacher in Enniscorthy.
I see.
So we were big friends.
I see. Very good. And do you remember the beginnings of Valley Road? Were you there for that? Or?
No, I wasn't, Father, no.
When did
But
that,
I loved Valley Road.
do you know what year that started or what decade?
There is a book written by Sister Stephanie,
Yes.
and to give you all that information,
Yeah.
I'll get you a copy.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, Sister Nuala's not here.
Yeah, don't worry,
She
I
has-
have a copy, I can get it.
Well, it's in that.
Yeah, very good.
Everything is in that.
Very good.
Much more than I can tell you.
And when you were in Valley Road, was that on the outskirts of Nairobi?
Yes. It's down in, it's beside the Pan-Africa Hotel.
Yes. And that was, in those days, that was out of Nairobi a little bit.
Hmm?
In those days, it was out of Nairobi,
No,
no?
no, centre in Nairobi.
Centre, no.
Oh, it's a lovely school.
And what do you remember about the beginning of the cathedral, the basilica?
Oh, that was wonderful. With the choir, I was asked to do the choir, and I had the choir from here. I was in Limuru, so Limuru were the backbone of the choir, and St. Mary's Boys, and Haruma Girls, the Mercy Sisters. I think they were the choirs I had.
That was in the 60s, was it? Bishop McCarthy?
Can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it was quite late.
And the girls came to the schools, they were from all over Kenya?
The girls in Limuru,
Limuru.
yes.
Whereas the ones in
But they
Musangari,
had to qualify. But in Misangari, they were,
In Songari, they were
you know, lots of them from around Nairobi, you know, the government servants, some of them. And then they came from the Belgian Congo and from Wanza and all around.
Very good. And when you came to Kenya, could you ever have dreamed that you would be doing, have done all the things that you did? The choir?
Never, 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 Father.
Very good.
Never, I was just told to do them.
I see.
I remember going to Bishop McCaffrey. He was the nuncio, I think, and he gave us a retreat. And I said, you know, I'm asked to do these things and I'm really not qualified. He said, who's asking you and who will do the work? God will do the work. You get out there and do what you're told.
So
That was Bishop McCaffrey.
You see, the Holy
Wonderful
Ghost
man.
fathers, and they came together.
Recall.
And how would you say was the providence of God in the last 100 years of the Loreto in Kenya? Do you think God has been very provident? God has taken care of you with His providence.
Oh, tremendously. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. Do you know that song?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Very good. And do you have any dreams for the future of Catholic education in Kenya? Any dreams?
I was too busy dreaming for us to dream further.
Very good. And your early vocations, the Loreto vocations, where did they come from? The local vocations.
It's the first.
I was in Kiambu,
Very good.
teacher training.
Yeah,
They were running the teacher training.
very good.
So I went there, I had my teaching,
Very good.
and then I fell in love with them.
Very good.
So I told them I'm coming.
Very good.
So they told me when to come. And the father from Ireland, governor, drove me all the way from my Ukambani
Yes.
to Kiambu.
Yes.
And then Kiambu, they drove me here.
Very good.
Yeah.
And many other vocations came after that.
Yes, Father.
Yes.
Now we have
Another one came in the evening, so the two of us have stayed. Others came and went. But the two of us stayed.
Very good.
Mm.
And what would you say was the greatest achievement of Loreto in the past 100 years in Kenya? Education. Of so many. Difficult question, no? But
They
you've,
treated people well.
you've educated half the country, no?
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands, no?
Yes, suppose so.
Yeah.
Teachers in Kiambu,
And,
they treated them.
We had our system was good,
Yeah.
and we were always with the children,
Yes. Always with the
which is very important.
And they stopped
You know,
their teacher training.
and the schools were not so big as they are now. Schools are too unwieldy now, and children don't have any proper training.
So you had more personal contact, no? You had more personal contact.
With the children?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Goodness me.
All the time.
I love the children. I'm their mothers.
Very good.
The fathers aren't so good. Excuse me.
Very good.
Oh, they're wonderful.
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 I think
I'm most appreciative.
very good. Wonderful. Well, you've told us many things, and it's now lunchtime. So we better cut it for today, and maybe we'll ask you some more things another day.
Oh, I think you've asked me
The
enough
last
now.
normally is 1 o'clock.
Anyway, you told us many things. Very good. Thank you very much. So that's enough, no? Great.
Thank you.
Really good.
This
So you have so much history at your fingertips. You have so much history at your fingertips.
Yes, we're trying to mind it up, isn't it?
This is your water. I forgot to give you.